One of my favorite blogs is by Columbia University statistics professor Andrew Gelman. And he had a blog post July 26th, Neil Ferguson, J.D. Vance, George Washington, and Jesus. And he says that J.D. Vance quip about, we are effectively run in this country by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices they've made, so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. You look at Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children, right? That's J.D. Vance in 2021 on the Tucker Carlson show. And Andrew Gelman, who's center-left statistics professor, he says, this reminds me of an episode a few years ago involving Neil Ferguson, the respected historian and the bumbling political activist at Stanford University in 2013. Neil Ferguson gave a speech at a conference of financial advisors where he explained that John Maynard Keynes had no children because he was a homosexual and was married to a ballerina with whom he likely talked of poetry rather than procreated. Neil Ferguson said it's only logical that Keynes would take this selfish worldview because he was an effete member of society. After it was pointed out to him that non-parents can still contribute in useful ways to society, such as George Washington and Jesus, Neil Ferguson took it all back, saying his remarks were doubly stupid. First, it's obvious that people who do not have children also care about future generations. Second, I'd forgotten that Keynes's wife, Lydia, miscarried. So Andrew Gelman's conjecture is this was a failed attempt by Ferguson at crowd pleasing. But I wonder what Neil Ferguson thinks of J.D. Vance, because on the one hand, J.D. Vance would seem like the type of politician who Neil Ferguson would love. He's Ivy educated, economic and social conservative, a book author with interests in geopolitics, has multiple children, and a wife who is not a ballerina. So J.D. Vance shares Neil Ferguson's concerns with deindustrialization, culture and political crises, the decline of Western civilization. Vance is hardline anti-abortion. Neil Ferguson appears to hold some anti-abortion views as well. On the other hand, Neil Ferguson is a strong supporter of Ukraine and an opponent of Vladimir Putin, where Vance takes the Trump line and says, I don't care what happens to Ukraine. Ferguson wrote, I will never condone Trump's conduct on January 6, 2021, when he incited violent attacks on the Capitol building, whereas J.D. Vance has promoted 2020 election denialism, and J.D. Vance has said that Mike Pence should not have certified the election results on that day.